Welcome to Timeless Tarot with Nina. I'm doing a series of easy-to-learn mini tutorials on learning the characters of the tarot and currently on the major arcana, the first 22 cards of the tarot deck. The major arcana are referred to as trump cards. These cards represent major life themes that influence your life and your soul's journey to enlightenment. I recommend that you reference or buy the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It's the easiest deck to understand if you're interested in learning the tarot. I myself learned tarot using this deck, but if you feel drawn or attracted to a different deck, feel free to use what you feel works for you. My teaching style is easy with a unique approach. I merge qualities of the characters of the tarot with storytelling in order to give you a better understanding of who they are and what they represent. This week we'll be looking at the Hierophant. The Hierophant is often represented as the Pope. Please understand that these cards are metaphors and not necessarily literal in nature. The Hierophant represents law, liberty, obedience, and disobedience. He's a symbol for convention and tradition. This card can represent a counselor, a teacher, an education, or a potential marriage. It's obvious when looking at the card that it relates to religion and spiritual knowledge. I'll be telling a short story on the 4 smart students to make a point. One night, 4 college students were out partying late night and didn't study for a test scheduled the next day. In the morning, they thought up a plan. They made themselves dirty with grease and dirt, then went to the dean and said they had gone to a wedding last night and on their way, a tire of the car burst and they had to push the car all the way back. So they were in no condition to take the test. The dean thought for a minute and said they could retest in 3 days. The 4 students thanked him and said they'd be ready. On the 3rd day, they appeared before the dean ready to take the test. The dean said it was a special condition test. All 4 were required to sit in separate classrooms for this test. They all agreed as they had prepared well the last 3 days. The test consisted of only 2 questions with a total of 100 points. The first question asked of their names, equaling 1 point. The second question was which tire burst, which would equal to 99 points. Their options were front left tire, front right tire, back left tire, or back right tire. So that is the end of the story. But here's the moral of the story. Be responsible for your actions, or you will have to learn a very hard lesson. You have to question whether or not they were really as smart as they thought they were. The Hierophant is the counterpart to the High Priestess. He teaches us wisdom and the importance of doing the right thing. He speaks his truth to others rather than going within. The keys at his feet represent stability between the conscious and subconscious minds. He represents the need to follow tradition, rules, or established procedures. He symbolizes traditional values and is associated with religious or spiritual knowledge. He represents all things that are righteous and sacred. He's the leader of human salvation. In spite of the depiction of the Pope, this card doesn't necessarily apply to Christian traditions. He's symbolized as a patriarchal spiritual leader. He's the head of the church, the teacher of truth. He's an instrument of salvation. The Hierophant bridges earth and sky, man and spirits. He's a diplomat, a father figure, and an ally. He's a representation of social rules and institution. He speaks quietly and wisely and is persuasive without raising his voice. He works harmoniously with the universe. He symbolizes dialogue, diplomacy, protection, guidance, and spirituality. He represents commitment and conformity. He encourages you to seek truth. He is the male symbol of divinity in the tarot deck. He wants you to do the right thing by yourself. He wants you to understand that living a spiritually guided life is something that would benefit you. This card encourages you to seek out people who have like-minded interests and join them. He wants you to find something in your life that is solid and dependable, heart, mind, and soul. He represents the knowledge within. And as you hold on to that knowledge, when accessing this information, you must pass it on and impart it upon others. This card can also represent your ancestors and your elders. The Hierophant represents your initiation onto a spiritual path. He represents alliance, servitude, mercy, goodness, godliness, and inspiration. He is a sign of Taurus in astrology. As we learn about each other, so we learn about ourselves. The Hierophant. Who in your lifetime can you identify as the Hierophant? He is a teacher who imparts spiritual knowledge. Please comment down below what your thoughts are on the Hierophant in your own life's experience. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. If you're interested in a personal reading, you can book one through timelesstarotwithnina.com. I'll leave a link for that down below. Thank you so much for watching.